What a crowd. Thank you so much for coming out today. It's amazing to see such solidarity. My name is Nikki Otteson, and I have an organization called the Backpack Project, which I have run for 16 years. It is with gratitude and great respect when I say I am born and raised as an uninvited guest on the traditional unceded lands of the Lekwungen and Wasanich peoples. Today I'm going to talk about and honor my friend Chrissy Brett. Chrissy and I met in December of 2017 after Super Intense City. She was holding a pop-up prayer vigil in what people called a roving protest camp, and she was stopping in every municipality to bring awareness and education to people around homelessness. Her camp was in Colwood when I met her. I had a warehouse full of donations and I took her to get supplies. On the way, Chrissy talked a mile a minute. She talked about creating change within the systems, changing government policies, and changing people's minds about homelessness. I had finally met someone that was saying out loud what I had felt in my heart for years. Chrissy was born on Nuu-chah-nulth territories and was taken from her birth parents during the 60s scoop. She was adopted by foster parents who lived in Qualicum. She spoke fondly of both her adoptive parents and her biological mom, who she met later in life. She told me that her activism and skills around organizing came from her foster dad, who was very involved in the unions. Her legal expertise came from a dear friend of hers who was a lawyer and a union activist. Her knowledge around Indigenous resistance came from her interest and studies of the Oka crisis. And her ability to navigate systems came from her own struggles and trauma around colonial governments and ministries who had tried to stop her for caring for the people around her because she didn't fit in their boxes. Not everyone fits in the same boxes, she would say. So we need different approaches of care for different people. I supported Chrissy and the people in camp through every municipality in the region. We had many long conversations. We shared stories about our lives, we made each other laugh, and we became friends. In April, she landed in Regina Park, which she called Camp Namegans, which means we are all one. I watched as the camp grew from one tent to almost 200. During that time, she had a lot of support because Chrissy had a lot of friends. Chrissy would put a call out and she would have donations from people who supplied food, water, generators, fire extinguishers, and anything she needed. She called on the talents of the people in the camp to sort out solar panels, food prep, shelters, and power supplies. She drew from every resource she could to support the people living at camp. During this time, I supported the camp, but mostly I supported Chrissy. I helped her move each time they were displaced, and whatever Chrissy needed, I made sure she got it. I remember when we were forced to leave Goldstream. Chrissy and I were in the last car. She always made sure she was the last to leave. Everyone from camp and the U-Haul were in cars ahead of us. We were on the highway going to the next location when Chrissy informed me that we were being followed by the chief of police in an unmarked car. I asked her, what should we do? She said, take the off-ramp. So we took the off-ramp. And then she said, now take the on-ramp. So we took the on-ramp. And then she said, take the off-ramp again. So we took the off-ramp again. And we ended up in Theodis Lake parking lot. We did a big circle in the parking lot, practically waving at the chief of police, who was following us while the U-Haul and the people from camp were headed safely to the next location. Man, we laughed so hard. Chrissy accomplished so much in her life. By the time Super Intense City was dismantled, she had secured housing for 180 people and forced the municipal and provincial government to invest $90 million in the CRD's Affordable Housing Initiative. She accomplished more for the unhoused community in her lifetime than any politician ever has or ever will. After her passing, she was honored and acknowledged in the throne speech as a philanthropist. Chrissy was intelligent, well-spoken, kind, and friendly, but was fierce when faced with injustice. When discussions got tough, she always said, I think we should have a conversation about this. She always promoted peaceful conversations to work things out, even when presented with oppressive white colonial settler privilege and power. She wanted everyone at the table and insisted those with lived and living experience be present at those meetings so their voices could be heard. She insisted that all level of government be part of the conversation so there could be no finger pointing and denial or avoidance of responsibility. She came to the table with strategies and plans of action and ideas that were beyond her time. She was a warrior, a matriarch, a friend, a mother, a grandmother. She was a light worker, a shining light. But that's the problems with light. Lights that shine so very bright, they go out too soon. And so she is missed by many. I carry this feather today in honor of my friend Chrissy. After her passing, I was speaking with my mother on the phone and I was walking my dog in the forest. My mother was sending her condolences to the loss of my friend. I hung up the phone, and as I was walking in the thick of the forest, I looked down, and right in front of my feet was this white feather. I know this is something that Chrissy sent to me, and I treasure it, and I take it with me every time I speak about her. The legacy she left us and the way she inspired me and many others lives on. And so I will tell you what I learned from her in the brief time I knew her. She believed in community building and the power of community. She believed that everyone had a strength or a gift, no matter how small, that was useful and needed. And she called on people to use their strengths to support each other. She was a great organizer and could rally people together on a moment's notice and didn't exclude anyone that was fighting for the same cause. She didn't like the fact that organizations were all on their own, in their own silos, and were not working together. She saw the coming together of people as very powerful, and I'm sure that she is with us here now, cheering us all on for coming together as a community in solidarity. I can hear her say, "Fuck yeah." And I can also hear her saying, "Hold the line. Hold the line." She once said to me, "This is not the end, and it's not the beginning. It's just another chapter." So let's remember as we go forward in our works towards housing justice and housing for all, that we are stronger together. Do not let them see us divided. Do not fight amongst ourselves. Do not stay silent in our silos and separate from one another, because that's how they weaken us. Stay strong, stand together, be inclusive, accepting, patient, and tolerant of each other, and organize. Find groups with common interests, like the many groups here today, and join and support them, because ultimately we want the same thing. We want housing for everyone, because housing is a human right, and every person on this planet deserves safe, secure, affordable housing. All for homes.
All for all.
Homes for all. All for home. After me. Let's do it together. We're going to practice this. All for homes.
All for all.
Homes for all.
Homes for all.
All for homes.
All for homes.
Homes for all.
Homes for all.
What do we want?